Welcome to the Membership Guys podcast. Kick-ass advice and tips for membership site owners.
Well, hello there. Welcome to episode 118 of the Membership Guys podcast. I'm your host, Mike Morrison, and this is a place to be for proven practical tips and advice for membership site owners. Today, we're talking about simple ways of creating membership content from the stuff that you're already doing day to day in your business. Now, you'll have heard us talk time and time again about the importance of delivering value in your membership. If you want people to pay you on an ongoing basis, you need to deliver value on an ongoing basis. And for most people, that means adding new content. But content creation can take a massive amount of time and cause a lot of stress and eat up most of your day-to-day schedule, pulling you away from other elements of your membership, such as turning up in your community, dealing with customer support, sales, marketing, and all of that good stuff. So today I'm hoping to equip you with some ideas for how you can be leveraging the things that you're already doing in your business in order to create new member content. But before we dive into that, I want to take this chance to remind you that the Membership Guys podcast is brought to you by Member Site Academy, the #1 training community for membership site owners. Not only do our Academy members get full access to our training library, including in-depth practical courses and workshops, you also get special tools, discounts, member-only perks, as well as step-by-step guidance through the whole journey of planning and growing a successful membership with our membership roadmap. If that wasn't enough, tap into the collective knowledge and experience of myself, Callie, and hundreds of membership site owners just like you inside our friendly and supportive member community. These guys have your back every step of the way, and we have too. If you are serious about growing a successful membership website, you absolutely need to be a part of Member Site Academy. So head on over to membersiteacademy.com today to join up, and I'll see you on the inside. All right, but before you do that, you can hit pause, head on over and join. We'll catch you back here in a few moments. Now, doesn't that feel good? Right. All right. This is me laboring under the impression that any of you guys hit pause and then head over to join Member Site Academy. I know that you're waiting until this episode is done in order to do that. Okay, so on with the show. We are looking at simple ways of creating member content from the things that you're already doing. The first thing I really want to reinforce is remembering that delivering value and creating content are not the same thing. Yes, if you want to keep people subscribed, you need to give them a reason to stick around, and usually that means delivering fresh value and delivering ongoing value. But that doesn't just come from your content. It can come from your community. It can come from other interactions and other features of your membership. But content is certainly part of the equation. I prefer, rather than content, to think of it in terms of deliverables. When you talk about content, you're thinking courses, you're thinking tutorials, videos, text, images, all that sort of stuff. Whereas actually, membership deliverables don't need to just be those things. A deliverable could be community interaction. A deliverable could be one-on-one feedback on a sales page or on a design that you've done. It could be a discount. It could be a perk. It could be a tool or software that you've got access to. This stuff doesn't traditionally get labeled as content, but it's certainly the sort of thing that can deliver massive amount of value to your members. So I do prefer the term deliverables over content. And when you start to think of things that way, you realize that actually delivering this value that will keep your members around for months and years to come doesn't mean that you have to sit down and grind out lengthy course after lengthy course. Just getting out there and hustling for discounts and perks that you can pass on to your members, that can have as much value as adding another worksheet or another download. So keep that in mind, and that already should hopefully help you to minimize the ongoing demand and the ongoing need to keep creating content. But we want to bring that down even further. And so we're going to look at 9 ways in which you can tap into stuff that you may already be doing in your business in order to create content and create deliverables. So the first thing you should do is look at whether you have any existing courses, any existing training, any premium products or premium standalone stuff that you can take and put into your membership. So quite often we see people who maybe have started out in the online business space by creating little courses or creating paid ebooks or programs and things like that. And they've then moved on to a membership, but sometimes they just leave that stuff that they previously created. They leave it where it is. They don't do anything more with it. You should be looking at anything that you already have at your disposal, tapping into existing assets and putting them into your membership. Now, it doesn't matter if this stuff isn't necessarily 100% on point for what your membership's covering. If it's in the same ballpark, if it falls under the same kind of topic, then add it anyway, even if it's just as an addition into a resources section. As an example, several years ago, I wrote a book by the name of Bootstrap Marketing. It was all around general business marketing. It wasn't around memberships. It was broader. It was more general than that. That was written well over 5-6 years ago, but it was one of the first things I added into the Academy. Nobody is going to join to get that content. We're not going to put it out there front and center as a piece of headline content, but we added it into the resources section, and we continue to do that. Anytime we have something that will have even just a modicum of value for our members, we make sure that we put it into the paid membership so that it's available in there. And so we're leveraging anything that we previously created that has a premium to it. So that's the first thing to do. Take a look at anything you may already have created in terms of courses, workshops, ebooks, anything like that, and consider putting that into your paid membership to bulk out the value that you're actually offering to your members. And by extension, the second thing you can do is do the same thing with any of your existing opt-ins, lead magnets, freebies, or anything like that. Now, again, the fact that you're offering this stuff out there for free in exchange for someone signing up to your email list, that's usually something that stops people putting those PDFs or those guides or those free opt-in lead magnets into their membership. Usually they think, well, there's no point putting this free stuff in because, well, it's free and, people are paying for my membership, so we shouldn't give them content that we put out there for free. But do not underestimate the value of convenience. Simply having the convenience of being able to get your hands on those ebooks and on those other things that you're using for lead generation. If you're a member, it can be frustrating if you've got this great ebook that I want to read, but the only way I can get it is by opting into your email list. I'm already a member. I shouldn't need to opt into your email list. And actually for you, you don't necessarily want me opting into your email list because I'm already a member. You don't necessarily want to be sending me sales messages and all that sort of stuff when you've already got me. So put that stuff inside your membership. Again, you're not going to put it out there as the headline content, but definitely don't underestimate just how valuable making things convenient for your members can be. So ensure you have a section or you have somewhere you can put any freebies, any PDFs, any lead magnets and so on into your membership. The next thing we recommend doing is producing bonus content for your existing blog posts or podcasts. So take a look in Google Analytics and pull up a list of the 10 most popular or most read blog posts or podcast episodes on your website, and then one by one go through them and look at whether there's any way that you can produce bonus content. So let's say you have a blog post that is essentially a tutorial that takes people step by step through completing a specific process. Could you create a downloadable file, which is perhaps the finished result? Or could you create a resource pack? Or maybe you've got a text tutorial that's all text and image, but perhaps you could record a walkthrough of that process and offer that as bonus content. If you do this for 10 of your most popular blog posts, articles, tutorials, or whatever else it is that you're putting out there for free, that ends up creating quite a wealth of premium content that you can then offer to your members. It also gives you material that you can then use as a really compelling call to action on those specific blog posts, because what you can say is, okay, if you want the video of this, if you want the resource pack, if you want the worksheet or the checklist or whatever else it is that you've created as a premium bonus material for this free content, then you need to be a member. So our paid members of the awesomepeopleacademy.com get full access to the video walkthrough with my additional 20 tips on how to do this thing. That creates a massively compelling call to action that's very, very specific to that blog post. And by doing it for the 10 most read and 10 most popular pieces of content that you're offering freely on your website, that ensures it's going to be viewed by more and more people because this is the stuff that is most read. And it also gives you 10 new premium assets that can go into your membership. So that's the third thing that you can do to leverage content and leverage things you're already doing. Create some bonus content for your top 10 blog posts. If you're a podcaster or a video blogger, then you may be doing interviews with guest experts. And so tip number 4 would be to create and record some extra material when you do those interviews that is then only made available to your members. So you may have a standard interview format that consists of perhaps 7 or 8 different questions, but then maybe you do a little lightning round or you ask one specific question that you record and only make it available to your members each and every time. Again, this sort of stuff, it's probably not going to be attractive enough to get people to join just for access to an extra 10, 15, 20 minutes that you recorded when doing the interview, but it may sway some people. It may be the straw that breaks the camel's back in terms of them deciding to join your membership. And again, it gives you lots of organic opportunities to promote your membership in the context of those interviews you're putting out. As an example, a client we worked with very in depth for a long period of time, Scott from scottsbaselessons.com, they have a podcast in which they interview various different bassists and bass educators around the world. Now that podcast, the audio version of it is available to everyone, but only members get to see the video recording that audio was taken from. On its own, that's not going to move the needle, but you see that enough times, you see all those little prompts, you're constantly getting these visible reminders that you as a non-member are missing out on something. That can be very compelling. So if you're already recording podcast interviews or video interviews, try to find opportunities to get a little bit more from that stuff that you keep aside for your members in order to give you extra strings to your bow in terms of what you're offering for deliverables on the member side, as well as additional marketing opportunities to create real compelling specific calls to actions in your free content. Tip number 5 is for anyone who's already doing webinars as part of your marketing. In most cases, a lot of people doing public webinars are doing them to generate leads and to generate sales for your membership or your course. However, you might consider, rather than doing a webinar for a marketing purpose, instead you actually run one as essentially a paid online workshop. So you put aside any sales and you put aside any marketing aspect to it, and you focus purely on taking the content that's been offered up to another level. So going more in depth, covering more ground, getting more practical. Then you could even charge people for that workshop. So charge them to attend that workshop. It would be a nominal fee. So it would be $50 or so. And this means that even if these people don't then go on and join a membership, you've still been able to make some money from them and you've still established a buying relationship with them that makes it easier to then sell the membership onto them later on. The trick to this is when the webinar is done. Essentially, if you run a webinar that's 90 minutes or 2 hours long, going real in depth on a specific topic, you can then take that recording, chop it up into 10, 15, maybe even 20 lessons, and you have a brand new course for your membership. You can then use the fact that that course is available as a way to get people who attended the webinar to then join the membership to get access to that as well as everything else you've got on offer. You can also use it to target people who didn't attend the webinar to say, this is the only way you can now see what we covered on that webinar by joining the membership. And at the very least, you're getting paid for content creation. And so if you're already doing webinars from a marketing point of view, then this is just a different way of approaching it that allows you to potentially get more in terms of making money directly from the webinar workshop itself, as well as getting paid to create content from something that you would be doing anyway. A great example of a team who do this very well are Luria and David from livestreamingpros.com. They do real great advanced in-depth practical live webinars that they charge for. I believe the one I attended on Facebook Bots cost around about $50, and that was then transformed into a course, which then went into the membership. It added a huge amount of value to existing members and added a big string to the bow in terms of giving them something else they could then promote to their list as an incentive for them to join the membership. So again, it's getting more from things you're already doing if webinars are part of your marketing strategy. Now, if you're somebody who's out there doing in-person events or live events, maybe you're doing in-person workshops or seminars, perhaps you're up on stage public speaking, make sure anything where you're delivering content, where you're teaching a room or educating or speaking on a topic, make sure you are recording that material and then putting those recordings into your membership. If you're doing a full day workshop, that is a gold mine for content which you can then repurpose and put inside your membership. In fact, some people use in-person workshops, full day workshops or multi-day events as the basis for 6 months or even 12 months of their member content. And when that is a big part of your approach, it more than justifies the cost of having someone come out and professionally film you doing this workshop. Now, if you're speaking at different events, conferences, and so on, quite a lot of them will actually record the keynote speeches, or they'll record the individual sessions. So we'd recommend getting in touch with event organizers beforehand if you know that you're going to be speaking at an event and asking them whether they'll be recording it. If not, find out whether they would have any problems with you hiring someone and having them come along to film your section of it, and just secure the necessary permissions for you to then be able to reuse that recording in your own membership. Very rarely will anyone have a problem with you doing that, because after all, the intellectual property of whatever you talk about is yours. But it's always better to secure permission, especially if you're going to have somebody else film this stuff for you. So again, this is stuff you're already doing. If you're doing workshops, if you're doing training days, if you're doing public speaking at events, capture that, get that recording inside your membership, because that content can add a huge amount of value in terms of what you're giving to your members. Tip 7 applies to anyone whose business has more products or more offerings than just the membership. So maybe you have an e-commerce store, maybe you run live events or mastermind days. Perhaps you offer one-on-one coaching or consultancy. Anything else that you might offer for sale to the public should be made available with a little bit of a preferential rate for your paying members. It doesn't have to be huge, doesn't have to be a deep discount, but your paying members should always get not only first dibs, but also the best price for anything else that you might be offering as a perk of being a member. This is a great way of being able to offer huge value that is quite easy to put a dollar amount to or a pound amount to when it comes to what members are actually getting as part of their membership. If you have a standing 5 or 10% discount on any of your services or events or anything like that, and if your members know that they're always going to be first in line for anything that you do, that can be a real compelling perk, a real compelling benefit of being a member. In fact, there are whole memberships that are based solely around the fact that you get a preferential rate on e-commerce products that company also offer, or other events or other services and so on. So again, this is about leveraging things you're already doing. Don't underestimate preferential rates, and priority access are hugely valuable things. So any opportunities that you have to offer those to your paying members can be a great way of delivering added value. Now, a lot of memberships are based around expertise, around someone who's seen as an authority in their industry, teaching you how to do something. And so while a lot of people will join for access to that authority or simply just to swim in the same pool as that person, a lot of people will also join for access to what you're teaching them, to the content of your course. In quite a lot of cases, people simply just want more of an insight into how you're running your business, into how you're doing the thing that you're then teaching them. This is something that is a massive part of Memberside Academy. Not only are people joining because they get access to us and because we've got courses and workshops where we're teaching something, They also join so that they can be close to what we're doing, so they can observe how we run our membership and then extract lessons from that themselves. Same as if you're running a membership site around Facebook advertising, for example. People not only want to learn the theory and the techniques that you're teaching, they want insight into how you're running your own campaigns. If you're running a membership around web design, again, people want the stuff that you're teaching them in terms of educational material, but they want insight into how you approach web design yourself. So that side of things, the behind the scenes, how you do it, the processes and stuff that you use can have massive value to people. So you should be already documenting the processes that you use in your business. If you've got a project management system, if you're running automations in software like ActiveCampaign or Infusionsoft, anything that is pivotal to your business will have value if shared with your members. So where suitable, try to actually share these processes. So this could be in the form of a checklist, or it might be you simply hitting record on your screen recording software as you do a particular function of what you do day to day, just to give people an insight behind the scenes and give them something to model. Some systems such as Process Street, for example, which is a software as a service that allows you to set up your work processes, they actually enable you to export preset processes, give that to someone else for them to then import into their system. So you could even provide those export files. Same with ActiveCampaign. ActiveCampaign allow you to export an automation that you may be using for your sales funnel, for your email campaigns. You can export that pre-made automation and give it to your members so that they have a template, they have a basis that is being used in practice by you. People love that sort of stuff, and it's a great easy way of deriving value from things that you're already doing day to day, simply by sharing the process, and in some cases equipping people to mirror and to model that process themselves in their own business or in their own lives. And the final way that you can really leverage the things you're already doing in order to create member content is to feature members on your podcasts or your live streams. So if you're podcasting or you're running Facebook Lives, then what you could do as either a recurring feature or as the centerpiece of what your podcast is actually about, maybe it's even a new podcast, you can bring on members for free coaching calls as part of their membership, with the condition that the call gets recorded and then published as public podcasts or public live streams. Now, this enables you to kill two birds with one stone, because the process of recording that coaching call is creating your free content, which you would be doing anyway, but by limiting the availability of that coaching call, so limiting eligibility for being the one who's coached to only your members, you add a huge perk to your member offering. This is something that Natalie Ekdahl over at bizchicks.com does very well with her own podcast. She features her customers, she features her clients and her members as the subject of coaching calls that then comprise a regular part of her podcasting strategy. John Lee Dumas over at Podcasters Paradise had an entire podcast that showcased members only. The only way to be showcased and interviewed was by being a member of that site. So it's creating podcast content, which you would be doing anyway, but it's tapping into your member base, which is not only more convenient for you, but it's also adding a huge extra source of value for your members, because your membership then gives them a platform that they otherwise would not have access to. And if you are doing coaching calls, it also gives them free coaching one-on-one direct from you, which is something that in a lot of cases, especially if your membership is quite large, is something that you can't really put a price on. So those are 9 pretty straightforward ways in which you can leverage the things that you're already doing in your business in order to create new content or new deliverables in your membership. 1, to tap into anything you previously created, any existing courses, and put them into your paid membership, even if it's just as additional or bonus content. 2, also add in your opt-ins, lead magnets, or any other freebies. Don't underestimate just how valuable convenience is for your members. Anything that's available out there for lead generation should also be available in an easy to access place for your members. 3, Pick your top 10 blog posts, top 10 articles, and create a single piece of bonus content for each and every one of them. Not only is this an easy way of generating new content, but it also gives you stuff that you can then use as a highly relevant call to action to get people reading those blogs to join your membership. 4, create bonus material, additional content whenever you record podcast interviews or video interviews that you then only make available to your members. 5, if you're already doing webinars for marketing, consider making one of them a paid workshop type webinar that you then turn into a course. So you're getting paid for content creation, and you can then also be smart about leveraging that as a way of promoting your membership to anyone who either wants to rewatch the webinar or who missed out on it first time you ran it. 6, make sure if you're doing any in-person workshops, seminars, or public speaking, that you're recording these sessions and you're making those recordings available inside your membership. That's something we do at MemberSite Academy, where we've got the recording of the talk that I gave at Tropical Think Tank, which was a $4,000 a head ticket event over in the Philippines. Our members get access to that full recording, recordings for Social Media Marketing World, recordings from basically anywhere where I've spoken. So you should be looking to do the same thing as well to leverage the opportunities that you already got out there when you're delivering content and you're speaking at events. 7, offer preferential rates and priority access to anything else you do in your business. Whether it's mastermind days, e-commerce products, live events, anything that you sell to the public, offer to your members first and offer at a preferential rate. 8, document your processes, document your automations, show people behind the scenes of the things that you're doing day to day in your business. Share this stuff because people want to model the people they look up to. And there are some systems which even allow you to go further and let you export this stuff and give it to people to put into their own systems. And finally, number 9, find ways to showcase and feature members on your podcasts, on your live streams, through coaching calls or member-only interviews. So all of this stuff will come from things you're already doing. Now, of course, not everyone's going to be doing public speaking, not everyone's going to be doing webinars, not everyone's even going to be blogging or podcasting, but hopefully you can pick out 3 or 4 tactics from the 9 that we've covered and start using those in your membership in order to enable you to better leverage the things that you're already doing in your business. Hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. Hopefully you've gotten some food for thought from it, and hopefully you're able to take a few of these tactics and get some great results from it. I would love to hear from you about any other ideas you've had for this, anything that perhaps we've covered that you're already doing, or even any follow-up questions. Hit me up on social, Twitter @MembershipGuys. Let me know what you think inside our free Facebook group. Head on over to talkmemberships.com. Punch that into your browser. That'll take you to the right place. Or just search for Membership Mastermind on Facebook and you should find our group. We've got over 5,000 membership site owners in there. And I'm in there too, waiting to hear your thoughts on today's episode and the ideas that we've discussed. Or of course, if you are an Academy member, best place to find me is inside our Academy community, where we are rocking out day in, day out, diving into this sort of stuff. So let me know what you think. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully it's been useful. I'll be back again next week with another episode of the Membership Guys podcast. If you've enjoyed today's episode of the Membership Guys podcast, we invite you to check out the membersiteacademy.com. The MemberSite Academy is the essential resource for anyone at any stage of starting, growing, and running a membership website. So whether you're still figuring out what your idea is going to be, or whether your website is already up and running and you're just looking for ways to grow it and attract new members, then the MemberSite Academy can help you to get to the next level. With our extensive course library, monthly training, exclusive member-only discounts, perks and tools, and a supportive, active community to help you along the way with feedback, encouragement and advice, the MemberSite Academy is the perfect place to be for anyone looking to start, manage and grow a successful membership website. So check it out at membersiteacademy.com.